We should pray because it is all about our relationship with God, and God wants us to talk to Him. But prayer is not just about talking to God, it's also about listening to Him. It's about relationship with Him. It's about finding out what is on God's heart and praying that into being in our nation and in our lives. With the National Day of Prayer, I guess I was part of the initial group, a team of intercessors that got together to seek and hear from particularly some of our federal politicians about what's on their heart for the nation. And they said to us, you need to call Christians in this land to pray for our nation. So that's where it started from, and from there it's just exploded in terms of calling to people to pray, humble themselves, seek the face of God, so that we can see people turn from their wicked ways and our nation healed. What I loved about the National Day of Prayer in Canberra was the fact that there were so many people there gathered together in our national capital, in Parliament House, praying on their face before God, seeking the face of God. It was a sense that the heavens were literally being opened and God hearing our prayer. As we prayed and sought God's face, He turned and heard what we had to pray. In terms of prayer affecting the nation, I think one of the things, probably a misconception about prayer affecting a nation, is that we need a lot of people to pray. And I often think about Abraham in terms of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, when he came to God and said, God, if there's 50 in this city, will you save it? If there's 40 in this city, if you'll save it. If there's 10 in this city, will you save it? And I think it's that 1 and 2 and gathering together and praying to save a nation. The Bible talks about, can a nation be saved in a day? And the answer is yes, because God can come in and move and see hearts changed and transformed, which changes the nation. One of the great things about the day was my daughter Bethany got to pray. Before, as we were preparing for the National Day of Prayer, I really sensed that we need to see children express their heart and praying to God as well. So we had the wonderful opportunity of Bethany, our second daughter, being able to pray what was on her heart on the day as well.
When I was at Parliament House on the stage, I was terrified. I thought I was going to completely mess up. But luckily I prayed to God and I didn't. It went well. I prayed for the chaplains and religion and bullies in schools.
Dear Heavenly Father, I pray today for the children and families of Australia that if they've been bullied in any kind of way, that no more bullying will go through Australia today and forever.
Our bully left and everyone's just been okay since.
In terms of answers to prayer for the National Day of Prayer last year, I just sensed that there was a change in attitude, a change in heart of some of the leaders of this nation. But I think also God did a work in the people's lives that were there. I know for me it was about having much more of a love for our nation and increasing my own personal prayer for our nation as well.
I would encourage people to come to Canberra and pray, or pray in their homes or in their churches or anywhere they would like to.
Our nation needs God. Bottom line, our nation needs God, and our nation needs Christians across this land to gather together and pray and seek the face of God, to hear from the Father what is on God's heart for our nation, and then to pray that into being. So I want to encourage you to come to the National Day of Prayer and Fasting, or hold a National Day of Prayer and Fasting event in your local church and gather as many people together as possible to come, pray together. And as we unite together in unity, I know that God will hear our prayer and will bring healing to our nation.